Aloha, cousins. Welcome as the doorman again. I'm opening the door on this channel again, but for something completely different. I am going to be interviewing Game Reviews Max, the coach of the Detroit Luxrays for EBL Season 6. How are you doing today, my good man?
Mentally anxious, physically getting better over a cold.
Oof, okay. Did you made you take you some medicine? I think you said yesterday you took you some Dayquil.
Yeah. Like a couple days ago, it was rough. Like I was unable to even talk. Really, I'm like, oh, so help me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better and everything. For the people that are new, in case they're coming over from any other channels and stuff like that, explain a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know who you are. You're like a brother to me, but you gotta explain to everybody else too.
So I'm Game Reviews. I've been doing the EBL since season 1. So if you want to see really every team I've ever rocked with, playlists on every single season. I do mostly Pokemon content. However, I've been branching out of that as well. I've been doing Xenoblade Chronicles, my live stream series. Just finished up Pikmin 4 a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And there's some shorts that are coming out on the channel from those live streams. So be ready for those.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got some shorts.
Got some shorts. And then moving forward, I'm actually doing some solo series outside of Pokemon as well. So get excited for all that.
Nice. Speaking of since you've basically been since season 1, it's one of those. Now we're starting into season 6. What is going through your head as we're getting closer to the start of this season?
Just very different feelings than what I've had previously. I will say that. Okay. Because how this started to where it is now is different. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a bad way or a good way by means. It's just different. It happens, with any kind of series and everything.
Yeah.
And I just really feel like this season I feel like is going to be a really big deal for a bunch of reasons.
Yes.
Obviously, one of the bigger reasons is 6 seasons in, and this is, I think it's already been confirmed. Has been confirmed.
What?
That we are going to Scarlet and Violet next season. So the last season
we are
in
going
this
to Scarlet and Violet for next season. Yes.
Okay. I want to be sure that was confirmed before I actually sent this interview. So yeah,
no, you're totally good. No,
last season,
no, we're still in Sword and Shield for this season, mainly for the fact that we were waiting for the DLC to come out, for hopefully more Pokemon to come out and stuff like that, because we only had the Paradox Pokemon, and it made it kind of difficult to make it fair for everybody to pick more Pokemon.
Right, exactly, yeah. So that's one of the big things is that we're going to Scarlet and Violet next season, so we're dropping Dynamax, we're dropping a good chunk of the Pokemon that I'm assuming that we're going to not be able to see in Scarlet and Violet regardless of the DLC. Mm-hmm. So it's a really big deal in that regard.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember looking at my old list for the Gen 8 Sword and Shield for the Pokemon you can pick through, and I have a new list now for Gen 9, and it's there's not as many Pokemon as there used to be, which is definitely going to shake things up.
So we'll see. So we'll see how the season goes.
Yes. So are you feeling more or less confident going into this season compared to season 4, 5, even season 1 and stuff like that?
About the same, I would say. I kind of feel like I've jumped the gun a little bit, feeling more confident than I should have in a season, and I kind of just bit me in the ass. So I'm this season, just go in casual, take it easy, have fun, and that's all that matters.
Yes, having fun is everything that matters. Everybody should know. It's one of those, we all are a little competitive. Pretty sure everybody understands that. We're all Pokemon masters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do is to have fun.
Exactly, yeah, and that's something I really do feel like I personally forgot about in the past couple seasons, so I wanted to kind of keep that idea there going into this season.
Yes. Since it's your 6th season and everything, you've done this multiple times, you should know how the preparations are going for you and stuff like that. It's one of those, is it easier now that you've had 6 seasons worth of preparations to go through, or is it still season 1 and you're still trying to figure out what you want to do?
Preparation for team builds are easier. preparation for actually building Pokemon are harder because obviously getting your vitamins, getting your ability patches, ability capsules, all those things are much harder to come by when you don't actually do the Dynamax Adventures anymore, really.
Yes.
That was the challenge.
Yeah, it's one of those. Now everybody's went to Gen 9 for everything for the Terra raids and shiny hunt and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You don't get that much people going to Sword and Shield, so it's like, okay, this preparation is going to be a little bit more challenging.
Yep.
I'm trying to find it. Nope, that is the Mega Contest.
Plus, it kind of also threw me for a loop as well, where I'm not doing that much Pokemon streams anymore, so that's how I got most of my, ores and everything. Were like, oh, I'm going to do Dynamax Adventure streams. I don't do that anymore. It's like, that kind of threw me for another loop.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna shift the focus over here, and we're talking about some of the Pokemon that you drafted.
Yeah, sure.
So you are the coach of the Detroit Luxrays for Season 6.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
And the Pokemon that you have drafted is Whimsicott, Comfey, still mad about that, Groudon, Urshifu Single Strike, which is the Dark type. We have Galarian Slowking. We have the Charizard, Mandibuzz, Malamar, and Credilli. Now, these are the 9 Pokemon that you have drafted. How do you feel like your draft went? And also, how do you feel about the team that you managed the draft here?
So, for the most part, I think I drafted a decent amount of a team. I kind of went based around what I wanted back in Season 4 when I had my rain team, but it wasn't a full rain team, if that makes sense.
Yes. I do remember that, yeah.
Right, yeah. So I was kind of the same approach I went going this season. Like, I had a set idea of what I want to build around, but not just relying on that weather type throughout the entire match.
Yes.
So that's why I drafted how I did.
Yep. So you've kind of built like a sunny day team, I would say.
Correct. Yeah. So that was kind of the approach of it, was to have sunny day, have the sun be like the focus, but also have counters to it where needed as well. Overall, though, my team I got shafted on a few picks off the top of my head. I know Gastrodon was one of them. Another one was Rotom Heats. That one really hurt. That one really hurts.
You got both fairies.
Yeah, I know. Well, like, here's the thing though. Is like I knew when I had a draft, and like Whimsicott round 1 was like what I needed to take off the bat. I'm like, somebody's gonna want this, and I'm not letting anyone else touch it.
No, because it's one of those. I wanted my Eternatus first, and then I was like, all right, my next pick's gonna be Whimsicott, and then it came back to you. It came back to you or right at you and right after me, and you were like Whimsicott. I was like,
yeah. It was round 1. Yeah, so if you took Eternatus round 1, I took Whimsicott round 1. Then it came back to me. I took Comfey before it went back to you.
I know, and then I was like, I wanted the Comfey if I could get the Whimsicott. So I'm still mad about that. But anyway, is one of those that made me have to think a bunch of my stuff. But looking at the Pokemon and stuff like that, do you feel like is there any Pokemon on your team that could be like an MVP status, either 1 week or maybe the whole season to where it appears on the logo for next season? And then at the same time, on the other aspect, do you feel like there's any Pokemon that's going to be like, that Pokemon's not going to be able to do anything, it's underrated, and then boom, you come out with a strategy and it's like, haha, I'm now the king.
So that's kind of the thing, though, I guess. I don't know if my Pokemon really could be like an MVP of like the logo material.
Yeah.
Realistically, because I already know people have counters for all of my Pokemon already. Like, know how to kind of counteract against them. But that's what I'm going. That's what my mindset going to this next season is not as much focusing on getting a higher KD ratio. I'm focusing more on just pulling out the wins.
Okay.
And everything.
I see what you're saying there. Yeah,
but that being said,
because if you get the wins, you're still gonna progress through no matter what, no matter about the KD and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. But that being said as well, though, there are definitely some Pokemon on my team that I don't think some people are like undermining, specifically Pokemon like Mandibuzz and Cradilly. Yeah. Those two are some of my Pokemon that I feel like are gonna be like sleepers.
Yes.
Because I feel like I have shown that in the past couple seasons, certain Pokemon that like are sleepers, but they're actually really good if you utilize them correctly. Yeah. And I think that's the case with those picks this season.
Because I do know a little bit about Mandibuzz, and I will have to say the Cradilly threw me off. I'm really wanting to see what you do with the Cradilly. That one is a very interesting one for me. let's go over here to the schedule here real quick, because for the people who do not know, EBL starts September 2nd. Will be the first week whenever the battles start going up and everything.
Yep.
You are going up against Essex Espion, coached by Pokapidge. Then week 2, you are facing off against the Carolina Garchomps, coached by Nudebox. And then week 3, you'll be facing off against the New York Metas, coached by Metamaxis. And then week 4, you'll be facing off against the Walton Wingulls, coached by NateTube. And then the Piece de Resistance. You should be fighting me, the coach.
Yes.
Of the
Yes.
For people who also do not know, we had a regular schedule at first, but then we had 2 people dropping out. It was one of those personal life happens. Understandable. You got to take care of what you got to take care of. So they had to drop, and then we had to have a new schedule. Now, comparing the old schedule to the new schedule, do you like this new schedule more, or did you like the other schedule more?
I like this new schedule more. The old schedule, I was just like thrown up against veterans. I'm veterans. I'm like, why?
It's like you're just like,
I'm not being set. This is not an insult towards anybody in the league anybody in the league in general by any means. But when you have 2 of your 5 opponents being the champions, one of your 5 opponents just knowing everything about Pokemon, who I'm still battling against in this league, I don't want to feel like I'm going into it knowing I'm going to lose.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. So, seeing this new schedule and everything like that, how would you rate your schedule on like a 1 being like very easy versus like 10 being like, holy crap, how am I going to do this?
I would give it a 7 actually.
About a 7? All right.
Yeah, about a 7. Yeah. Again, there are going to be some challenges for sure. Let's be real here. I don't think about that being a second. I know there's going to be some kind of challenges here, regardless of skill level and everything. I feel like at this point, because everybody in the season has been in it for at least 1 season now, right?
Yes, everybody has been in it for 1 season. It's one of those.
Okay,
Wilsons,
so it's not like newbies in the season. Yeah. Okay, so everybody has at least a general idea of what to expect. So I'm not expecting any of these battles to go easy or really hard either way. I just know that I can't just take a week off, be like, oh, I'll just pop in, win, move on. I know that's not going to be the case this season.
Yes. Now, as we've talked about your schedule and stuff like that, is there anybody on your schedule that you would have liked to maybe face that you're not facing currently?
Probably actually Timmy B. I always want to battle against him because him and I still have to beat him after last season. Okay, like I have to beat him.
You're like, I need the vengeance, Timmy.
Exactly. But I think that's the only person I'm upset I'm not battling this season. At least in regular.
Yes. Now, as we looked at different teams who you're facing and stuff like that, we have the Mega Conference and the Dynamax Conference. Out of these 2 conferences, or you could even do one for the whole league if you want to, which teams look the dangerous, not including your own? Like I said, you could do one of each, or you could even do just the one out of the whole league if you want to.
All right. I mean, I'm taking a look at it all right now. I really hate to say it, but I really do feel like it's just Mew that scares me.
Yes, I know the Mew. I know. Trust me, I know.
The Mew just scares me because it could be anything you want. Looking there. However, I'm also going to look at the Dynamax Conference as well.
Yes.
And I'm going to give it to the Espers actually this season. Really fast Pokemon. I know what Blaziken can do. I've shown that time and time again of what Blaziken could actually do.
Yes.
So, his team is very unique in the sense where, and I really hope the other team members are listening in on this, he does not need a speed boosting, he does not need a baton passing Blaziken set on his team. He doesn't.
No, he showed that whenever he fought me with the last season. He does not need to do baton pass. He can...
Exactly, yeah. So do not
use just Blaziken by himself.
Exactly, yeah. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes. As we're looking at the different teams and stuff like that, do you think there are any underrated teams? Teams that like, I don't know what this is going to do, but it's actually going to pop off in an amazing way.
I'm looking at Mike and the Florida Rowlets right now, actually, because he's running like a full rain team. Like I said before, I ran a rain team in season 4, but my rain team wasn't a set rain team. It was like 3 or 4 Pokemon that utilized the rain, and everybody else was just like support, ways to handle it on their own and stuff.
Yes.
So I want to see how he plays it out, because he only has like 2, 3. Well, he only has like 2 Pokemon that don't really benefit in the rain, really.
Yeah.
On his team, so I really want to see how he plays out and everything. And then, I mean, that's really it. Everybody else, for the most part, doesn't have like a set build around them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's like the case of, like, there's definitely a support, there's definitely a proper setup idea for sure, but like no other team is really, aside from me and Mike anyways, no one really has like a set like idea around a core value of a team.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. There's not like a main focus in the team. Everybody just kind of drafted like really good Pokemon, support, attack, tank, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Considering a little bit of spoilers, I will rescind this if you want me to, but I do know you have a fight scheduled for today, maybe?
Yeah, I do actually. So, so after this call, I'm actually going into a fight.
Yes. So, how do you think your record will go this season? Do you think you're going to go like 0-5, 5-0?
Looking at my schedule, I feel like I'm going to go 3-2.
3-2? All right. That's about the most common response here, but it's also understandable.
Yeah.
And then looking at your schedule, looking at opponents and stuff like that, you're able to prevail, you're able to do whatever you need to do. Why will you be the champion for season 6?
Just because like I've been working my ass off every season since season 1. I feel like I've grown and developed over every season.
Yes,
and I really do. And I really do feel like the season's the season.
Yes. You better watch out. Game Reviews has been here the longest, and he's like, I got seniority. Everybody, baby.
Exactly. I have seniority.
That'll be the end of the questions that I have. Feel free. You can promote anything, plug in anything, say whatever you want to say, and then that should be all good from over this side.
I don't think it's really promote anything else. I think I've already kind of gave the nice little intro of what my channel is all about and everything. I'm just gonna say this right now. This Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is gonna be the last Pokemon series solo series on the channel for a while. I don't know how long, but just a heads up. So, if you guys want to stick around for non-Pokemon related content, feel free to stick around.
Oh yes, definitely. I remember watching some of your Pikmin streams and stuff like that. Looks so much fun.
Yes.
And with that, we'll be seeing everybody here on September 2nd for the first week of EBL. And with that, we'll see everybody next time. Peace!
Take care.